Hey Travis, it's Miss McPaul, and I am ready to announce the winners of week 1 of our book bracket tournament. Remember last week you voted on 4 books, and I'm ready to tell you what 4 books will be moving on to the next round. Our first competition was between the books, The Yellow Bus and Miguel Must Fight. Okay, drum roll. And the winner was The Yellow Bus. The Yellow Bus had 99 votes and Miguel Must Fight had 64. So The Yellow Bus will be moving on to the next round. The second competition was between the books Millie Floor's Poison Garden and Bubbles Up. And I'll tell you, this was the closest competition that we had. All right, you ready? Drum roll. And the winner was, with a total of, how many was it? Oh, I forgot. 87 votes. The winner was Bubbles Up. That's right. Bubbles Up had 87 votes and Millie Floor had 76. So that one was really, really close. Our third competition was between the books The Spaceman and Shay Bob. And I'll tell you, this competition was not the closest at all. In this competition, the winner had 121 votes. And that other one had 42 votes. And so the winner was Shay Bob. And our last competition was between the books 100 Mighty Dragons, All Named Broccoli, and If I Was a Horse. All right. And the winner with 101 votes was 100 Mighty Dragons, All Named Broccoli. All right, those are our 4 books that are moving on to the next round of competition. Remember last week how we talked about how we sometimes judge books by the cover and that's okay? Well, it's still okay. But this week, we're going to talk about a better way to judge a book. So besides just looking at the book cover and what it looks like, the other thing that we can do is we can always open up the book and read what it says on the inside of the book jacket. On a lot of chapter books, you might find a good summary of the book on the back of it. So that way you'll be able to know what the book is really about, and then you'll know if you might be interested in it or not. So this week, our competition is going to be about voting on the book that we think sounds the most interesting. So this week, we're going to read the inside of each of the covers of the books, and you're going to vote on which book you think sounds the most interesting. So our first competition for this week will be between The Yellow Bus and Bubbles Up. All right, let's look at these books. All right, so remember, this is what Yellow Bus looked like. All right, and then the inside of it says, there was once a bright yellow bus who spent her days driving. The yellow bus loves carrying children from one important place to another. Every morning they climb in, pitter patter, giggle, giggle, patter, and they fill her with joy. As time passes, things change. The yellow bus gets a new driver, a new route, and new passengers, young and old. Until one day, the driving stops for good, and the yellow bus is left on her own. Yet no matter where she is, the yellow bus still finds joy and discovery in the world around her. With stirring black and white artwork and powerful pops of color, this tender, soulful story from beloved picture book creator Lauren Long is a poignant reflection on the many new beginnings life has to offer and the wonder of the journey along the way. All right. That's The Yellow Bus. All right. And so that one is going against Bubbles Up. All right, let's read the inside of this one. Plunge under, bubbles up. A day at the pool is full of wonder, dunking and splashing, bumping and laughing, handstands, somersaults, deep dives, and magical moments full of light. And through it all, the bubbles float to the surface, nose bubbles, mouth bubbles, ear bubbles, rear bubbles, all rising up. An everyday visit to the community pool is transformed into an unforgettable celebration of the world underwater, where always and forever bubbles rise up. All right, so you are going to vote on the one book that you think sounds the most interesting and that you think should move on to next week. Our second competition for the week is between Shay Bob and 100 Mighty Dragons, all named Broccoli. All right, let's look at these. All right, here's Shay Bob. Remember, we had the crocodile with his smile and all his teeth. All right, let's read what it is. See, the inside of this cover is much shorter than the two that we just read. All right, this one doesn't tell us that much, but it says, meet Bob, lazy but hungry reptile, devious mastermind of the perfect trap for prey, chef at the finest birdseed restaurant around, and maybe, just maybe, a really good friend. All right, here was Shay Bob. And our last book, 100 Mighty Dragons, all named Broccoli. This one too doesn't have much that it tells us in the front, but it might give us an idea if we'll like it or not. All right, here's what it says. First, there were 100 mighty dragons. Some left to surf, some flew to Paris. One became a unicorn, another a werewolf, one a poodle. Some blasted off to the moon. Counting them up, counting them down. Add some back, flip the page. How many dragons are left? You might be surprised. All right. So you're going to vote between Shay Bob and 100 Mighty Dragons, all named Broccoli. And next week, when you come to school, you're going to get to see who our final two books are that you'll be voting between next week.